Good morning, students, and welcome to the English class. We all are going to view about the next lesson. As I had told you on Tuesday, the assignment given to you on Tuesday was to read the lesson and keep the new words marked and ready. So this is our next lesson in supplementary reader, that is a question of trust. So here the author has more prominently spoken about maintaining trust between people of the same profession. Being a teacher, I should not deceive a teacher, or being a doctor, I should not deceive a doctor, or being an engineer, I should not deceive an engineer. People belonging to the same profession should not cheat on each other. They should be loyal. So whatever profession they belong to, they might be a teacher or they might be a thief. So here the characters that we are going to speak about are Horace Danby and the lady, and a place named as Shotover Grange. We'll be looking through all these gradually when we go to the go through the slides. Okay, so here the protagonist Horace Danby is basically fond of collecting things. Okay, and we can see the author on the screen, Mr. Victor Canning. He was born on 16th June 1911 and he passed away on 21st February 1986. That means he was he belonged to the age of modernization and industrialization once again. And he had written novels and thrillers and flourished in the 1950s, 60s and 70s. He was personally reticent, writing no memoirs and giving relatively few newspaper interviews. So he never enjoyed coming into public life and describing about himself. This is a brief introduction about the author. You can see him, right? So let us move on to the next slide. Here we are seeing the main characters in the story as I had narrated. It is Horace Danby, a beautiful lady, and a dog named Sherry, and the place named as Shotover Grange. Right. So they say that it is given in your textbook. It is said that you must set a thief to catch a thief, because both of them will have similar mentality and attitude, and it becomes easier for a person having the same attitude to locate a person belonging to the same category or same profession. So but it is also said that there is honor among thieves. There has to be honor among professions. That is what I am calling as trust. Okay, so this is what the story is going to narrate us, how Horace Danby was deceived by a fellow thief and he feels bad about it. Initially, it is spoken that the protagonist Horace Danby is fond of collecting books. He is very much inclined to read, and not the normal ones. The books are to be very, very expensive. So he is fond of collecting expensive books. These expensive books should be in double quotes, because that is what makes him steal once in every year, so that he can maintain himself and also maintain his hobby of reading expensive books. He is also a lockmaker, so he is very good at that. So a lock-making profession cannot make him earn the amount of money that he requires to purchase the expensive books, right? So here we are. Then we proceed further to the next slide, which says the protagonist is a skilled lockmaker who is passionate about reading books, expensive books. Okay, earlier I discussed. He fulfills his passion by planning a robbery once in every year. He plans for his robbery very meticulously, and he is an excellent planner. He finds out all the necessary information about the place that he is going to steal, the name of the people staying there, number of people staying there, when they would be going out, when they would be coming in, details about the servants, details about the animals living over there, how to get in, how to get off without getting caught, then all the electricity arrangement in the house, whether the house had a camera which could record his robbery. All those minute information he finds it out very meticulously, so that is the reason why he is never caught. Okay, he was a good and honest citizen. That is what he thought he was, and he was Like Horace Danby was about 50 years old and he was unmarried, and he lived with a housekeeper who worried over his health. In fact, Horace Danby suffered from an ailment called as hay fever. What is hay fever? These people get allergies. They start sneezing and a slight fever once they come in contact with the pollen grains released by the flowers in the air. So they have a particular season. The moment they come in contact with the pollen grains, they start sneezing. Okay, he was usually a very happy-go-lucky person, and he lived happily except for attacks of hay fever in summer. He made locks, and he was successful enough at his business to have two helpers. Horace Danby was good and respectable, but not completely honest. Why? Because though he was good and respectable, but he had taken up this method of fulfilling his hobby, that is, planning for a robbery and buying expensive books. That's not fair, because if we want to fulfill our hobby, it should be through our own earnings and not by robbing away someone of their hard-earned money. He carefully surveys the house, collects information about the owners and every minute detail. I told you what all he collects. He executes his plans skillfully and is never caught. Okay, he is so skillful that he is never caught. Everything is well planned, well managed. So let's move further. This year he plans for a short robbery in Shotover Grange. He collects information about every minute detail about the people living in the house, the dog living in the house, the electric circuits that are there in the house. He surveys the house for almost a month. Okay, so he is now Shotover Grange, looking for its rooms, its electric wiring, its path, its garden. And this afternoon, the two servants who remained in the Grange while the family was away in London had gone to the movies. So he is selecting that particular afternoon to execute his plan of robbing the house. Horace saw them go and he felt quite happy in spite of the little tickle of hay fever. He had a little tickle of hay fever when he was planning to go for the robbery. He came out from behind the garden, his tools carefully packed in a bag. There were about 15,000 pounds worth of jewels in the Grange safe. If he sold them one by one, he expected to get at least 5,000, enough to make him happy for another 1 year. There were 3 interesting books coming up for sale in the autumn. So he always collects information, which books are for sale, what are the price, and he wants to buy them and read them. Now he would get the money he wanted to buy them. He had seen the housekeeper hang the key on the kitchen door. He put on a pair of gloves, took the key and opened the door. This is what he is going to do. He was always careful not to leave any fingerprints. A small dog was lying in the kitchen. The dog named Sherry, which I had spoken about in the earlier slide. So he quietens the dog by calling out by its name, because he very well knows that if we call a dog by its name, the dog somehow feels that we are familiar with it and it doesn't bark at us. So that is what he did. Then the safe was in the drawing room behind a rather poor painting. Horace wondered for a moment whether he should collect pictures instead of books. But they took up too much of room. So books can be accommodated in small place, but pictures, they take a lot of space. So there was a great bowl of flowers on the table and Horace felt his nose tickle. He gave a little sneeze and then put down his bag. He carefully arranged his tools. He had 4 hours before the servants returned because they've gone for a movie. The safe was not going to be hard to open. After all, he had lived with locks and safes. He was a very intelligent lockmaker. And the burglar alarm was poorly built. He went to the hall, cut the wire of the burglar alarm. He came back and sneezed loudly as the smell of flowers came to him again. There was a bowl of flowers in the room. How foolish people are when they own valuable things, Horace thought. A magazine article had described this house. So normally we also should learn that however the people in the entertainment field or in the media, they force us to disclose things, we should not disclose some important and valuable information about our house. The owner of this house somehow was unaware of this and he disclosed. A magazine article had described this house, giving a plan of all the rooms, a picture of this room. The writer had even mentioned that painting hid the safe. So this was something very valuable which the owner should not have disclosed. But Horace found that the flowers were hindering him. Even because of the flowers, he was continuously getting that tickling sensation in his nose. Then he heard a voice from the doorway. Okay, now it's time that he heard the voice. So that is what is there on the screen now. He knew where the safe was, as the owner had once revealed in one of his interviews in the article. He starts unlocking the safe. The only fear is his hay fever, as there are flowers in the room. He is shocked to hear a lady calling out his name. To his dismay, she introduced herself as the lady of the house. Okay, so then he heard a voice say from the doorway, "What is it? A cold or hay fever?" So look at the kind of question she is asking. Before he could think, Horace said hay fever. So he was very quick in answering hay fever and found himself sneezing again. The voice went on. "You can cure it with a special treatment, you know. If you find out just what plant gives you the disease, I think you would better see a doctor if you are serious about your work. I heard from the top of the house just now." So she has heard him unlocking, sneezing over here, somebody else sneezing. It was a quiet and kindly voice, but one with firmness in it. A woman was standing in the doorway. She was young, quite pretty, and was dressed in red. She walked to the fireplace and straightened the ornaments there. "Down, Sherry," she said. "Anyone would think I had been away for a month." She smiled at Horace. So she's trying to answer his anxiety and his curiosity now. Who's this lady? Because he had studied the entire house, and nowhere it was like into the picture that the people who had gone to London had come back. So he was annoyed, he was surprised. "However, I came back just in time." So she says, "I'm just back in time. But I didn't expect to meet a burglar. I didn't expect that there will be a thief inside the room." Horace had some hope because she seemed to be amused. Look at this now. Being the owner of the house, she's not angry to see a burglar in the house. She's just amused. And she's talking with him, which normally doesn't happen. If I'm the owner of the house and I see someone else near my safe with all his tools, what is the first reaction I would give? I would first call the police, but she's not doing any of this. Horace should have understood that any sane owner, sensible owner will not behave like this. But he got carried away because of his hay fever. His brain simply did not work and allow him to think. She nodded. "I see what an inconvenience it is to meet me. What are you going to do?" Horace said. He asked her, "What are you going to do?" "My first thought was to run." "Of course you could do that, but I would telephone the police and tell them all about you. So if you are going to run, I'll call the police. They will get you at once." Then Horace said, "I would of course cut the telephone wires, so I will not give you a chance to call the police. Before I leave, I'll cut the telephone wires and go." Then wires first, and then he hesitated, a smile on his face. "I would make sure that you could do nothing for some time. A few hours would be enough." She looked at him seriously. "You would hurt me?" Horace paused and then said, "I think I was trying to frighten you." So look at the conversation both of them are having with each other. So she has introduced herself as the lady of the house with all her behavior. She didn't speak, but her behavior, the way she is talking about the house, all says that she is the owner of the house. Okay, everything. So Horace paused. "I think I was trying to frighten you." "Yes, you didn't frighten me." She was not frightened with this because absolutely she was not the owner of the house. Horace suggested, "It would be nice if you would forget you ever saw me. So it's better that you forget that you saw me and you let me go." The voice was suddenly sharp now. "Why should I? You were going to rob me. If I let you go, you'll only rob someone else. Society must be protected from men like you, so I should not allow you to just go away like this." Horace smiled. "I'm not a man who threatens a society. I steal only from those who have a lot of money. I steal for a very good reason, and I hate the thought of prison." So he feels that his reason is very good. So why should he be afraid of stealing things anyway? She laughed and he begged. Okay, thinking that he had persuaded her. So, "Look, I have no right to ask you for anything, but I am desperate. Let me go." She was silent, watching him closely. Then she said, "You're really afraid of going to prison, aren't you?" She came over to him, shaking her head. "I have always liked wrong kind of people." She picked up a silver box from the table, took a cigarette from it. Horace, eager to please her and seeing she might help him, took off his gloves and he lighted the cigarette for her. The first mistake that he did. Okay. You will let me go. He held the lighter towards her. Yes, but if you do something for me. So, what is it that she wants him to do? Before we left for London, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank, but I left them here in the safe. I want to wear them to a party tonight. And the Horace immediately says, Oh, then you've forgotten the numbers to open the safe, haven't you? Yes, replied the young lady. Just leave it to me and you will have them within an hour. But I'll have to break your safe. Don't worry about that. My husband won't be here for a month and I'll have the safe mended. So you don't have to worry about the safe. I will actually get it mended. So she had actually forgotten the numbers. In return, now she has promised that his robbery will not be revealed because she will be mending the safe and keeping it properly. So children, that's all for now, and see you all in the next video with the remaining part of the lesson. I hope you have understood this. This is a short story about a lady who has to a man who has come to rob Shotover Grange, accidentally meets a lady who also has come with the same intention but pretends to be the owner of the house, and the conversation between both of them, how they are going to work out this meeting. Right children? Thank you so much. Have a nice time.